on all the things that matter. Hey, today we're going to have a great episode. We're doing this thing where we are doing university tips. I don't want to say survival tips. It's more of flourishing tips, okay? These are the tips that helped a girl child, that helped me to be able to flourish at my school. And I just wanted to give this advice to other first year students or university students, depending on where you are in life. How this makes it, a thing for me is because I was a first generation student, and believe me, it was challenging, it was hard. Hey, it was a journey and a half, okay? It was a journey and a half, but you know what? We made it. Glory to God. We made it. So I have a few nuggets of wisdom I would like to think, and we are going to break this down into 4 parts, right? Because I have so much to say about this, right? And remember, this content is for kingdom ambassadors, right? So if you're a kingdom ambassador, you're a child of God, a child of the kingdom of light, you are in the corporate world, you're in university, you're in business, wherever you are, and you're a kingdom ambassador serving the kingdom purpose wherever you are, then this content is for you, okay? I'm going to be sharing some of the things that really helped me as a first generation student in my first year, as well as in all the other years that I've been at school. And let's just dive right into this. Tip number 1. I have my notebook here. Number 1 is research your career, right? Why is it important for you to research on your career? Well, let's see it this way. I'm going to share a bit of my story so that you actually understand the context of why I'm saying research on your career. So baby girl grew up wanting to be a psychologist, right? That is my dream. That is my thing. I want to do that in the world. And I got we had a career expo at my high school. So one guy came in and he said he's a psychologist, and he has a 4-year degree. He's a psychologist, he has a 4-year degree, and he's working as a psychologist, right? Me, I'm thinking, okay, 4 years, degree, that, then I'll be done. I'll be a psychologist. Baby girl did not know that it takes honors and masters and passing your board exams and then doing all these other things for you to really end up at a place where you can practice as a registered professional psychologist. I didn't know this, right? I found out after I had registered already for the course. I found out after I had registered, I was in class. I think it's an orientation class. It's not like a lecture class, but your lecturers are coming in, they're telling you, what you could get out of whatever it is that you want to study. And I am there, and the lecturer is saying, hey, this could be a 7-8 years journey. And I'm like, no, it's a 4-year journey. We know this. And I was wrong. I thought that I had done enough research. I'm surrounded by a lot of social workers, and unfortunately, the social workers that I was surrounded with only knew about a 4-year program. They didn't know that I had to take all these other steps. So I was just flooded with so much confusion and doubt. Like, do I still want to continue with this? What do I do? But I've already registered. And I didn't know back then that even though you've registered, you can actually try and maneuver things, or maybe go into social work or whatever, or make your subjects work for you somehow, change your subjects and take a different course, even though it's still in the psychology field. I didn't know that. So I basically just found this out. And I'm scared to tell my parents because I'm first generation. Number 2, I am a firstborn, okay? And this girl, as a firstborn, is trying to get to the bag quicker, okay? That is the whole point about being a firstborn. You want to get to the bag quicker because you have responsibilities. You need to help at home. You have siblings coming after you. You have this, you have that. You need to think about those things. So, and obviously your parents are like looking for their big break through you. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, 7 years, what am I going to do? I continue with the studying because wow. And I find out after I had completed my degree that I had done, so I did social sciences, majoring in psychology and criminology, but actually I was supposed to do a BPsych equivalent. It's just a whole situation. And I'm like, the degree that I did, I cannot really register with the HPCSA, which is our body, our health professions body. And I'm like, what is going on? So definitely research, okay? If you want to be a lawyer, it's a long journey. I mean, I think lawyers also have the same thing that we experience. It's a long journey. You have to do your degree and this and then your articles, then all of this. It takes time for you to really be an admitted attorney. It takes time. Like, all these things take time. And I wish we knew back then the information that we have now. You have career expos, you have universities coming at your schools to come and teach you about these courses. You have different professionals coming in. You have videos like this that help you to understand. There are people who are professionals in their field who have started YouTube channels, so you know what it is like. They tell you, they explain their whole journey. Right now, you have so much information at your fingertips. Research should be your best friend. Okay, so I've exhausted point number 1. Point number 2: know why you are at the institution that you're at. Know why you are there. Why are you at a tertiary institution? Why are you at that college? Why are you at that university? For me personally, I started preparing. This is a thing. So I started preparing for university when I was in grade 9. We had a TTP program, which is a VETS program. It's a targeting talent program where they take potential young people who they feel have the potential to be great leaders and who are academically achieving well, to attend this TTP program at VETS. So what you do is, from grade 10 to grade 12, you go there, you experience university, but you're in high school. So when the VETSies were home, we were there, we were sleeping in their residences, we were eating at the hall, we even graduated at the Great Hall. Like, it was literally a whole university experience. You got to attend lectures, you got to listen and pay attention and really observe university life. You got to see what it was like to be a first year. We did subjects during the program. We did subjects that were not necessarily part of my curriculum. I know that certain schools have that in their curriculum in South Africa, but me, a girl who went to a public school in Limpopo, I didn't have that, right? So we had stuff like, you were studying sociology and philosophy. It was crazy. I'm like, what? We were doing engineering, chemical, tontoni. It was just crazy. It was a crazy program, but basically it helped us understand the speed at which they teach at university. It helped us, the program helped us understand how quick you had to move from one class to the other, whether it is across campus or whatever. Like, you had 10 minutes. We were running around the grounds trying to get to our classes, and you get to your class and you're breathless and everything. But yeah, so that kind of helped. And then also in grade 10, I made investments of, because I'm from a very sheltered Christian family, right? And I didn't have really guy friends. So grade 10, I was like, you know what? I need to get used to guys. So I befriended a guy friend. I'm like, he was a friend. He was a friend. But I befriended a guy because, to me, that girl that did not even hug guys in high school. Like, I was that girl. So I needed to get used to having guys around me, because I don't want to now have that experience, which was typical of village girls, especially Christian village girls at tertiary levels, who would go to universities and first year you hear she's pregnant, because it's just, you're bombarded with all of these things, right? So I got used to having guys around me, well, not family, guys, just normal guys, friends. So I started having that. That's one of the ways I prepared. And then I also started, who are you, Jubilee? Besides being a Tsonga girl, which is a big part of my identity, besides being a Marabombo, a daughter of the Rabombos, who really are you? So especially in grade 12, I was doing a lot of that, with going to a psychologist as well, trying to understand my identity. How do I establish my identity and my grounding, so that when I go to university, I know who I am. I know I'm done. I'm good. So that's basically how I prepared for university. Other people obviously will prepare differently. The process might be even more extensive for others, but for me, that is how I prepared. I wanted to know who I am, and then when it was time for me to leave, I remember I wrote down my parents sat me down. Oh my gosh, even till this day, it's one of the things that make me nervous when both parents sit me down. But anyways, my parents, the last day before I actually left for school, they sat me down and they told me, Jubilee, you're going to school, right? And you're gonna meet this, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that, but remember who you are. This is why you are going. So I had also the family support from my parents, basically guiding me to remember why I was going to school, right? So also have that grounding, that social support or family support. It could be friends, it could be mentors, it could be guardians, it could be your foster parents, it could be your mentors or your coach or whoever is there to just provide some sort of grounding for you, right? Beyond your spirituality. So I definitely did that. I sat down, I took notes. Literally, when people are making good points, I take notes, guys, even when it's my parents. The best lessons I've learned been my parents. But anyways, they sat me down, I took all the notes that I had to take. Fine, we left for Bloom. And then when I got there, on the day that I got to school, like I got to my room, and my father had taken me there, so he excused himself. That day in particular, I sat down with my journal. I'll find it some other time. I took my journal and I wrote down why I was at school. So before I went to school, I wrote down the reasons, and then when I got there, I wrote down again the reasons why I was there. Why did I want to have this education? What kind of impact do I think this education would have on me, on my family, and the community at large? What kind of impact do I want to have in my field, right? So those are some of the things that I researched on and did with research, so that I can give myself some grounding. So no, why you're there. For me, I definitely wrote those reasons before leaving for Bloom, and on the day that I arrived there, immediately, literally after I put in my bags and everything, and I finally got a moment to just sit down, I literally wrote while obviously praying, because wow, it was going to be lit. The other thing was get your timetable done, especially in first year, right? And I know that this is not something that every faculty experiences, so I'm going to try and not be too generous with my experience. But basically, in my experience, because I'm part of the humanities faculty, it is a huge group. We are like a huge group. I think our class was around 800 to 1,000 students in first year, so it is a huge group. With that, it means that I had options. I had morning classes, I had afternoon classes, I had evening classes. Sometimes if I missed all three, I would have another class the next day in the morning, right? So I was able to maneuver my classes. Those classes I knew, okay, this one, it's only one option. I have to, if I don't go on a Monday at 7 o'clock, I have missed this class. So I made ways like that. I put in those classes that I know, okay, these ones, I only have one option and I have to attend that. And then I put in the classes the way I had options, and I color coded everything so that I remember. And then there were those classes where now it was tutorials, so I had put in those tutorials and I made sure that they don't clash with the options, the optional classes that I have, just in case I end up missing one class because of other responsibilities, because you will have other responsibilities. So basically I worked it out. I'm a creative, and I know creatives might struggle with this. I don't like timetables a lot, but basically for me, what helped me was knowing what was important and what was urgent. And obviously what's important sometimes is not what's urgent, and what's urgent is sometimes not important. And I had to know, okay, this is urgent and important. So fine, attending to the assignment that is due tonight, that assignment is important for my CAS mark predicate. It is also urgent because it's due tonight, so I would have to work on it. I'm not saying work on your assignments on the day, by the way, because you are playing yourself. And then so I basically worked around my timetable, made sure that I knew where everything is, what's going on. I think the fact that I stayed on campus helped me, because at the institution that I went to, we had this facility mentors program that basically helped first years. So you got there and mentors would literally walk you around campus, and you would know where your classes are. They would help you draw up your timetable and then take you around campus, so you would know where your classes are, so that in the next morning when you have to wake up and go to your class, you're not out there looking for directions all the time and being late, because literally we had about 10 minutes. If you have back-to-back classes, it means you had 10 minutes to move from one venue to the other. And guys, campus is not your village. It's a big environment, so sometimes moving across would be a challenge. But yeah, that was a joke, by the way. And then number 4, I would say get a radical Christian community. I didn't emphasize why this is so important to the T, but to be honest, that experience in itself can be such a life-changing experience. I think for me personally, and as a Christian, obviously, I was in that space where I needed to figure out how I was going to manage lifestyle there, because when you're at university, you meet different people. You meet people that have the same grounding as you. You meet people that do not have the same grounding as you. I remember in my first year, I'm big on purity, and I remember in my first year, there was this thing where girls were just losing their virginity, and it was a trend, right? And I didn't want to get into that trend, because I knew why I was striving for purity, why I'm striving for purity. So it's all these things that are there. I remember going to this other event, and when we got there, literally, guys, there was wine, there was booze, there was punch, like there was all that. They didn't have juice. Like, they didn't have juice without alcohol mixed in it, and I don't drink alcohol. Like, during the whole event, they had free alcohol, they had free wine and punch, and they did not have juice for the people that don't drink. They didn't even have bottled water, and I'm very funky about bathroom water, so I literally had to go back to my place of residence to get water and then go back to the venue. That is how bad it was, because literally they did not have bottled water or juice for the people that don't drink. And so a lot of the things that happen, some of them it's the culture that the people are responsible for breeding. Some it's embedded in the system itself. Some of the things will definitely go against your Christian beliefs, and you would have to stand up for that, right? You would have to find a way. And this is why I'm saying getting a radical Christian community is so important. You don't just need Christians, because we have so many denominations, and we have so many beliefs in the Christian faith that it can be confusing. You need a radical group, right? And for me, it was CRC. It's definitely CRC. When I was in Bloom, literally the Christian community that really gave me grounding was CRC. I got young people that grounded me in prayer. Man, I struggled with prayer, but I had people, mentors, your Sis Lonenes, your Sis Surprise, Sis Tato. I had so many people within my community that were there to basically make sure that this girl stays a prayerful girl. This girl stays grounded. You need a radical. I can't even say this. The way that with the radicality, it's because they were so radical, it was hard for me to now deviate. So, for example, I cannot profess Jesus and be in that radical community and then decide one day I'm gonna go clubbing and do my own thing. Like, it was not gonna work. And this is why you need radical people, right? Because they're just the certain lifestyle you live because you're radical stops you from doing other things that could definitely be detrimental to you. And I know this is an excuse, especially at university level. People will tell you, well, this Christian journey, everyone can do whatever they want to do, and there are gray areas and all of these things. And even though we do get to gray areas, to be honest, when you have a radical group with you, it's hard to get to those gray areas. The gray areas lead you away from the right way, to be honest. And you need that radicalness, especially in your first year, because there is so much. You need that grounding because there's just so much happening. You're so bombarded with all these things that's happening around you that you need people who are strong in their faith, who can really pull you up and mentor you. So definitely get that. I think me being part of the SCO as well did definitely help, because I also got to experience other Christians who didn't necessarily believe in what I believed in, who didn't necessarily believe in what we believed in CRC, but we were all in the Christian faith and in the Christian community, and we got to fellowship together. It was wonderful, and I got to grow from that experience as well. So definitely, not to just be too generous with the information, but the last tip is to use university resources. Child, use university resources. They are there for a reason. Use them, right? What I wish I had done was use the university clinic more, right? That was a free service during my time. I'm not sure if it's still free. I wish I had used that more. So me, I'm that person. If I'm sick, I will try and brave it out. I wish I had not done that. I wish when I was sick, I would have gone to the clinic, get vitamins, get all these things that my body needs to help my body to handle the stress and the strain and the weight of being a university student. I wish I had done that. But anyways, it's fine. We move on. I wish I had the psychology. I did that. That's one of the things I did. I did attend to the psychology professional services that they had, and that really helped me, especially in first year. I had done all this work to prepare myself for first year, and then I got there and I was just like, and things just went. There's just so much influence. We take it for granted. There is so much influence, guys, at university, that I literally had to go to the psychologist and try to understand what was happening, the changes within me, and whether I liked those changes. I come from a community where people know me and everything, and I guess I lived based on the stereotypes. I lived based on the imposed ideas that other people had of me. So as a Christian girl, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that, you're not supposed to do this. As a Rebombo daughter, you are this, and you will remain this. And Rebombos don't do this, and the Rebombos don't do that, and the Rebombos are represented this way and this way alone. As a Tsonga girl, this is who you are, this is what you're gonna do, this is what you don't do. Tsonga people are like this. And so when I got into an an environment like that, especially in Bloom where there isn't as many Tonga people. In Bloom, when I didn't even meet another Wombo person in Bloom. And well, they are Christians. They are Christians, but it's a different caliber of Christians. So not having those things that I performed to, and I'm using perform to because really I started questioning, was I really living my life for me, for Jesus, or was I living my life for the community, for my parents, for my family? I really questioned a lot of things in my first year, and I had to go to the psychologist to help me break these things down and for me to understand, and also with the mentors that I had at the university that kind of really helped me. So the clinic, the psychologist, go see the social worker if you're having challenges. I definitely use the social worker. I literally had her numbers on me, and I'd call her, yo guys, yeah. I knew the SRC. I knew the SRC. I'm like, I need to know. I just basically all the resources, the leadership, the facilities, the organizations, all these things that are there to help you, use them. Tutorials, go to your tutorials. That is a support system for you. That is a university resource that you can use. I thought people used to pay for tutorials. They don't. At university, they don't. That is something that you literally experience because of that university experience as a package. And I found that tutorials helped me to understand my work, especially when I was feeling a bit timid. I can be very loud and everything, but there are times when I'm timid and I think this question is stupid. There are questions you feel like are stupid, but they're not stupid because they could be literally that one question that stands before you and passing that paper one day. So ask questions. If you can't do it in the lecture hall like Jubilee, where our class was literally huge, we had hundreds and hundreds of people in one class, maybe you can do it in a tutorial where it is at least under 100, right? So definitely use university resources. They are there to help you, to help you succeed, right? In all of this, I just want to say that I'm rooting for you and I believe in you, and I totally believe that you can do this. And I think this applies to your work environment. If your work environment is a psychologist that you can attend, that can help attend to you, please go for it. Whatever free services are there wherever you are, whether in the business field or within the marketplace or corporate or university or college, use those resources to help you because they're there to help you. You're not being needy. You literally need those resources to help you better yourself. So that is it from me. This is lengthy. It was just 5 tips, but I went on and on because I don't want to leave anything behind. But yes, that was my experience, right? Out of all the things that matter, and we're going to be talking about our communities, we're going to be talking about our nation, South Africa, we're going to be talking about international issues. But out of all these things that matter, that we are going to talk about, just know that you also matter. You matter, okay? And you make a difference. Your voice makes a difference. Live out loud for Jesus. Be a kingdom ambassador wherever you are. Peace. Oh, I'm back again. Please share the content with your friends, your frenemies, your neighbors, your cat, your dog, all of that. Please share. And please subscribe to this channel. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and comment on what are the things that you did from the tips that we just shared. What are some of the things that you did that helped you, and what are some of the things that you did that you think are not as helpful as we think? That is it from me. Peace.